Have you ever wondered if the brain treats Arabic words differently from English words? It actually does, because Arabic builds words in a completely different way. So in English and in most European languages, we build words by adding pieces, right? Prefixes, suffixes, one after another, just like Lego blocks. For example, we have read, reading, cat, cats, play, played, plays, etc., etc. So we add these little pieces, and that's how we build different words. However, Arabic works a little bit differently. So many Arabic words are formed from a root made up of three consonants, usually three, and a pattern made up of vowels. So let's take the root k, t, b, for example, which carries the meaning of writing. So anything related to writing is k, t, b in Arabic. From that single root, we get kataba, he wrote, kitab, book, kutub, books, katib, writer, and many others. So the meaning stays linked to the consonants, while the vowel pattern changes the grammatical and lexical meaning. This is called non-concatenative morphology. So the pieces are woven inside the words rather than attached to the ends. So the difference isn't just linguistic, it's also neurological, because studies using brain imaging and experiments like, for example, MEG and ERP have shown that Arabic speakers process the root and the pattern as two separate mental units. So when they hear or read a word, the brain quickly recognizes the root consonants even before processing the vowels around them. So that's very, very different from how we process English when we speak it, where the brain usually tends to process the whole stem first and then adds or removes prefixes and suffixes. So there was a research that shows that roots in Arabic trigger early neural responses, which means that the brain identifies those consonants almost instantly. It's as if, for example, the brain sees a hidden code underneath every word and recognizes it. Aphasia studies tell us even more about this. So, Arabic speaking patients with language impairments sometimes lose access to either the root or the pattern, but never both. So, some may produce the right consonantal root and the wrong vowel pattern, or the opposite. For example, a person might intend to say katib, meaning writer, but instead they say kutib, mixing the internal pattern. In English, though, aphasic speakers usually make different kinds of mistakes. So they might drop or add an ending, like saying write instead of writer, or writed instead of wrote, right? Which shows that the Arabic mental lexicon, so the mental dictionary, the mental glossary, is structured differently than English. Roots and patterns live as independent representations in the brain, while in concatenative languages like English, words are stored more in a linear way. Knowing this, we can understand now the mistakes that Arabic English speakers make. In early childhood here in the UAE, many children learn Arabic at home and then English in school, right? So this means that their brains are building two very different morphological systems at the same time, which is very valuable. So in Arabic, they're learning to identify consonantal roots and patterns, and they are blending them in the roots. Whereas in English, they are learning to add endings like s, ing, or ed in the end, etc. So you can often hear these systems maybe blending creatively in code switching sentences. For example, a child might say kitabs instead of kutub as a plural, right? Adding the English plural to the Arabic word, sorry. So they also might say ana writing, el kitab, mixing English verb morphology with Arabic sentence structure.